Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. And we are back with another Friday Night Rec. Now, I kind of missed last week's Friday Night Rec completely because I was taking a YouTube break and I was just, living my best life, I guess, in my bed and staring at Korean men. But yeah, that's that. And this week I am back with one of my favorite themes or like ideas. I don't think it's a genre. I don't know what it is, but it's like a theme that happens in novels, and it is time traveling. Now, time traveling is so fun to me, even though I've never done it before, but it's really fun to read, obviously, because you kind of get to see how one action affects the other action, and then that action affects your future. Basically, if one thing changes in your past, it could mean that your whole future is now different, which is like really cool. And I would love to read more books, but it seems to me that there are very few time travel novels out there, although I do have a small section on my shelf that is dedicated to books that have the time traveling theme towards it. And like always, if you guys do know any time traveling books that you personally enjoyed, definitely recommend it to me down below and help a sister out and help everybody else out, okay? So this week's Friday Night Rec is actually The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger. And I definitely probably didn't say her name correctly. It's just a thing I do. I don't read names. I can't read names. So if you guys haven't read The Time Traveler's Wife, I'm sure you guys might have seen the movie starring Rachel McAdams and that hot guy that I forgot his name of. So sorry. I think he was in The Other Boiling Girl too, and I love that movie. Definitely recommend you to watch that historical film if you haven't read it and if you haven't watched it already. It's a historical film, so check it out if you like historical romances. But back to The Time Traveler's Wife. Now, I absolutely adored the movie, so I had to read the book. And now this book is like a thick baby. It's like around 500 pages, if not 400 pages. And I remember specifically me in my high school home ec class, and I'm just not paying attention. And I have the book underneath the table, and I can't stop reading because it really captivated me. It's like one of those stories that you kind of like feel the characters' lives, like you're living with them, like you know every single thing that they're thinking, what they're doing, what their plans and their schedules and like things like that. So it just makes you feel like you're part of that world, and that's like a book that I love. So if you haven't read it yet, definitely check it out. Now, The Time Traveler's Wife is actually, now, to tell you about the synopsis if you haven't read it already or haven't watched the movie, it's about a couple, Claire and Henry. Now, Henry actually meets Claire back when Claire is just a child. She's, I think, playing in the playground, and then she meets this old naked man in the field, and she's surprised, but she's not as surprised as you would think she would be. And they build a little friendship going on, like every few weeks they'll see each other again, and they develop this ongoing relationship. And then it's not only until like 10 years or 20 years later, well, 10 years, I guess, does Claire bump into Henry again. But this time around, Henry doesn't have any idea who Claire is because the version that Claire met was an older version of Henry than the present version of Henry. And then from then on, they kind of like work around their relationship over Henry being a time traveler, and Claire obviously have to living with like a time traveler who always kind of disappears in random moments and random places, especially like important events. Like he can't control his urges to time travel. He can't really control himself and his body. He just time travels out of nowhere. So it's really difficult for them. And then there's also a lot of things going on after marriage when they want to start a family, and it just is brilliant. So definitely check out that book if you haven't read it already, but if you want to just skip it, just watch the movie again because the movie's grand. So the movie that I would like to recommend you for this Friday evening is actually, or this weekend, is actually In Time. Now, it's also starring Rachel McAdams, and it's also starring this other British guy that I completely forgot his name of. But In Time is like this British film. Everybody speaks in an accent. Love it, love it. Rachel McAdams is American, so there's that. And it's about time traveling again. So if I remember correctly, the guy goes into a closet during a party and he magically time travels, and then now he just has the power to control when he wants to travel in time. And he and Rachel has this really cute meet cute where they kind of like bump into each other at a restaurant, and then they build their relationship from then on. And this movie is definitely a feel-good movie. It's one of those movies where you just kind of like sit there and think a bit about, like, if you had the choice to go back in time to change something in the past, would you go and do it? Would you relive the same day all the time, or would you just, you know, live life normally? And that's what our main characters have to deal with. And I absolutely loved it. The score, like the instrumental score for the movie, was spectacular. I actually still listen to the instrumental music on my commute to work as I'm reading a book, because it's very emotional and it's like sets the mood for everything, and it's just perfect. So if you guys have time, definitely watch the movie and check out the book of Time Traveler's Wife. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next week. Can't let